What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. Bringing it back with another episode in our NB90 series. This is Volume 4. Go check out our playlist to check out the other volumes. Today we'll be looking at the year 96 and the year 97, and I'm pretty sure they are going to cover extensively the 1996 draft, which many people consider the greatest draft in NBA history. A lot of stars were born out of that NBA draft, to include players like Kobe Bean Bryant, Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, Antoine Walker, Stephon Marbury, I believe, Steve Nash, Jermaine O'Neal, Ben Wallace, and I think there may be a few I'm forgetting. I think Peja Stojakovic. He was not on a level with some of the other players I mentioned, but yeah. But anyway, I am digging this NB series so far, so let's get into it.
Oh snap! NBA TV presents NB90s. It's the NBA.
Like he bought airspace. It went with the flow of Jordan.
Back in the day.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
In the decade when the shorts got longer, the players soared higher.
Elevates and throws it down.
And the game went global. We've got all the players.
The things he was doing, like, man, we never seen this before.
And the looks.
My Detroit players.
The 90s were bad for clothes. We know this.
And rivalries that were off the hook.
37 points in like 15 seconds.
So chill on out. We're keeping it really real.
My general idea was to dunk on everybody.
Right here on NB90s. In 1995, the league expanded to Toronto and Vancouver.
In Canada, the NBA was off the charts because the kids loved the uniforms. The mascots were off the chain.
Vancouver may be one of the most beautiful cities for sightseers, but watching the play of the brand new Grizzlies was often unbearable.
I love Vancouver. I love the people. And we were just really bad.
It's just been an awful night.
That's terrible.
The losing may have frustrated the players, but the fans were too polite to complain. Or maybe just too tired.
I think they lost all their energy yelling for the hockey teams. And you kind of could feel it as you're playing in Vancouver. They're like they're witnessing an experiment or something.
Yeah, the experiment only lasted 6 years as the Grizzlies eventually migrated south.
You know that old saying when you think about the good old days? That's exactly how I remember my life. So I don't remember a lot about the Vancouver Grizzlies because those weren't the good old days.
But up in Toronto, there was a different feeling in the crisp Canadian air. And it all started with the Raptors' first ever draft choice, who had an inside track to inside stuff.
He's number one pick of Toronto. Great shooter. Great player, exciting player.
Stoudemire pulls up with the jump shot, buries it.
And thus the beginning of my main man Stoudemire. It's almost to the point where his name was Main Man Stoudemire rather than, what was his name? All right, man, do that again. I didn't even know his name because it's Main Man Stoudemire.
I knew there was something I liked about that Damon Stoudemire. He's my favorite player in the NBA and will be on the show every single week. My man, Damon Stoudemire, makes a tasty dish.
His name was Damon Stoudemire, but to me it was Main Man Stoudemire because that's all I ever called him. Damon! Main Man. That's what it was.
But determining who was a main man was hardly an exact science.
We always wanted to watch. We wanted to see who his main man was this week.
Who is your main man?
Well, see, there's a difference. See, there's a main man and there's a main man.
That was the fun part because everybody was Ahmad's main man.
That's because you're my main man. No doubt. See? Main man. Now, this tells you something about my man Shaq, not to be confused with my man Tyrone Muggsy Bogues, him and my main man, Terrell Brandon.
Oh, man. I had some main men, boy.
Phil and I have complete confidence that this is going to work out extremely well with Dennis Rodman.
By the middle of the decade, the Chicago Bulls had gone through a 2-year title drought, but things started to change when they hooked the worm.
One of the biggest coups in basketball during that time was Dennis Rodman being brought to Chicago.
Good old number 91. I loved Dennis as a teammate.
Cisco from Drew Hill.
He obviously loves attention, but the man knew how to play.
There's Dennis again. He is something to watch. He doesn't even have to score a basket to turn a game around.
He's not the type of guy that you want to play against, but he's often the type of guy that you want to play with.
That's what Dennis does. He does it better than anybody in the league. There's the worm doing his usual.
Will battle you to eliminate and get you upset while he's doing it.
Say things to you, blow in your ear, look at you, maybe a little bit childish and funny at times.
Guys frustrated, get them off their game.
Whatever he wanted to do, he could do, as long as he kept getting those 18 rebounds a night.
Don't forget to hit us up on Twitter, #NB90s. Get with the program. Welcome back to NB90s. At the 96 Slam Dunk Contest, Brent Barry brought game and a cool name.
Dr. J, Air Jordan, what Barry? What's your nickname now?
They call me Bones on the team, so I just stick with that.
Bones.
Bones Barry.
First of all, Barry had a great hair day on that particular night. Like, it was made for the dunk contest. Like, when he ran, it was just kind of moving with him.
Now, that had a little flavor to it.
Was so confident, didn't even take off his warm-up jacket.
He told me he forgot to take off his jacket.
Yo, you're doing it in front of legends. Take your jacket off, man.
He's going to bring out the free throw line. In the first round, he's bringing it out. But you know what? You have to love it because it's still a tremendous leap.
I like this. That was cool.
I give him respect because he said, you know what, I'm going to do my best, most difficult dunk early. I'm just going to do it right away so you guys see what I'm doing.
You can see the players in the background, which is always one of the most fun parts of the dunk contest, seeing their reaction.
I don't know how he got that because his brother couldn't jump and Rick Barry shot underhand free throws. So how is this happening? Like, what backyard are you hanging out in?
In Chicago, Bulls fans were treated to some tasty dishes from Tony Kukoc.
He was a fantastic player. We called him the waiter because he served everybody.
He was one of those guys, when you look at him, he looks very unassuming. And then when you get on the court, he had all these skills. He could shoot the three, he could put it on the court, he could pass.
He was what we call the Euro magic. No-look passes, dribble, shoot, drive. Just kill it.
1 second, that's got a chance. Tony with a big three. The Croatian sensation.
One of the most talented, not just international players, one of the most talented guys that we've seen at that size.
People are always going to talk about Scotty. Of course, they're going to talk about MJ, but Tony Kukoc made a lot of things happen for that team.
Shot, give the ball right now to Tony.
Tony would team with 3 future Hall of Famers to rewrite the record book.
The Bulls finished the regular season 72 wins.
They were motivated every single game. Every single game.
What time is it? Game time!
And the league was not weak either, so it wasn't like they were beating weak teams.
I remember one time we were actually up. I'm like, man, we might be one of those teams that's gonna beat the Bulls today. Man, was I wrong.
You know, it's the funniest thing. You never be in awe while you playing them, but when you sit back and you watch, you're like, wow, did they just do that?
And the Bulls have been superb.
Just by being part of that team, I was able to be a part of NBA history. I was pretty lucky.
Question is now, who can beat this Chicago Bulls team?
Do your thing. Do your thing.
Well, out west, the Seattle Sonics were making noise, led by Gary Payton.
They call him the glove so quick.
The glove. The glove.
Do your thing. Do your
Coming, dog.
Tattle.
He would talk so much smack that you could never take it personal. It just started being funny.
Don't talk to him like that, Beater Knuckles.
I never could understand it, but he had some good lines, you know.
If your head lumpy, I tell you your head lumpy. You ain't that one out here, boy.
He liked intimidating you. He liked defeating your mental toughness.
No point guard played defense like Gary Payton that I could think of.
He would tell you, I'm going to beat you down, and I'm going to score 20 points on you and have 10 assists. There's nothing that you're going to be able to do about it. And he would go out and get 20 and 10.
Love that.
Peyton running his mouth, throwing lobs. I mean, sometimes he wouldn't even look, just put it up there, and he's going to catch it. The Rain Man coming.
Sean Kemp.
The Rain Man.
Wow.
Sean Kemp, Rain Boy. He was just a teen, yet he was in the NBA.
He's just a child.
He's a man.
This was a grown man when we were teenagers.
He's a man-child.
He had a full goatee. He was like 17, 18 years old.
And he came, and he grew, and he fed on the rain. Oh, sweet rain.
I like this place.
Between the leg dribble into the lane, and this in a bone-crushing two-handed jam.
Yeah, the freak of nature. Like I said, I can throw alley-oops to him anywhere. If you see our highlights, I would throw it from anywhere. I would throw it with my left hand, I would throw it with my feet, I would throw it with my head. He would go get it.
The other way into the lane, up top, Kemp is there! Oh, he cocked the eye!
I'll just throw it, and then I'll start running backwards, because I knew he was going to put on a show.
Swats it away, Kemp powers in with a jam. Man, I'm telling you, he crushed that one.
Sean Kemp was sick.
I love that dunk.
The Sean Kemp, Alton Lister dunk.
What are you? Just get out of the way.
Slide now, Kemp going to the hoop. Wow! Now that is attacking the basket.
And then hit him with the, hey! Kemp literally pointed at my, you should have moved out of the way.
My general idea was to dunk on everybody.
You'd be like, did I actually jump with this guy? Did I do that? Wrong, wrong, wrong.
Sean Kemp and Gary Payton, they made it hot up there.
After winning the West, things were really heating up in Seattle. And the Bulls were getting ready for the Sonic Air Show.
Check it out.
From the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, welcome to the 1996 NBA Finals.
Okay, go to the next guy. Get out. Get.
That was a hell of a team. And George Karl, hell of a coach.
If Michael gets to the post up, go double him. Every time he touches it, you're going after him.
And comes Jordan. Deflected beautifully by Askew. Payton's loose. Payton leading the way. And that little look like, Michael, you're the king, but I'm coming after you tonight.
There was so many highlight film scenarios in that series.
Off the dribble. Michael crosses over. Michael falls, fires.
Win or lose, we're taking something in that locker room and believe in each other in this huddle. You gotta believe that, guys. You fought too hard. Every one of you. Grab each other and trust each other.
It was just they had a great team, but the wrong time.
We all had that play against the Bulls, couldn't get over the hump.
After a 2-year absence, the Chicago Bulls have regained the NBA throne.
Probably in a better series if we could have went to Game 7, but they were a great team, and they deserved one.
I actually feel like we just took a 2-year hiatus, and now we're back again.
How's it feel to hold it again, Mike? I think it's heavier than all the other ones.
Yeah, the Bulls were back on top, and NB90s is back after this break.
Hi, I'm Michael Rappaport, and one thing I remember about the 90s, crazy draft day suits. Oh my God. Samaki Walker.
Did you lose a bet?
The Superfly hat on, too big.
Is that cowboy hat?
Just tripping. All white everything.
Why go like white suit, cowboy hat? Like it just didn't fit. Like go full cowboy.
Kobe Bean Bryant came in, he was like, yo, I'm gonna hook it up. I'm like a businessman, but I'm also like, you know, I'm in the mob, so I'm gonna have like, you know, the weird collar. I don't even know what that's called. Like when the collars like come together. You're 15, man. Bonzi
wore a suit wedding dress to the draft. Like, he needs like someone to hold the train. Jalen Rose, listen, I like the color red, and I also like candy canes. You're getting drafted, you might as well stand out and look like something that you put on a Christmas tree. I don't know who told you that red was dope and then a red pinstripe was dope. Nothing was dope about it. Jalen, don't hit me. We're boys. Come on, the 90s were bad for clothes. We know this.
Yeah, some of them draft suits were tough to look at, but the 96 class was dressed for success.
Well, it's a good-looking group. David Stern.
That was the draft of all time. Franchise player after franchise player.
Marcus Camby, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, Stephon Marbury, Ray Allen.
I mean, you got Kobe Bryant, 14.
Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High School.
Steve Nash, 2-time MVP. He wasn't even a lottery pick. 96. If you don't know, do your research.
Yeah, but there was no question who was number one. The answer.
Allen Iverson was
ridiculous.
Coleman almost ran him over trying to do something.
AI is just so fly because it's A1, it's the sauce. It just feels good when it's poured over the right thing, and money was just the right thing.
Iverson has Marbury, crosses over, strong.
He, to me, was a great artist because you got a sense of who he was as a person because of how hard he played.
Left 20 gallons of sweat on the court every game. That's AI.
Iverson made you proud to be part of the NBA. That guy was so good, so tough.
Iverson easily by place for two. Allen Iverson talking to Charles Barkley.
Couldn't nobody stop him. He could score anytime he wanted to, 40s, 50s, whatever he wanted to do.
Allen Iverson, 4 straight with 40 or more. Allen Iverson with 50 for the night.
He was the anchor to a lot of kids' dreams and hopes.
He just meant so much to so many people, and he just was so unique.
Trying to guard this guy is like trying to hold water in the palm of your hand. Let's see what Anthony does. Forget about it. Iverson for 2.
And when you talk pop culture, he was right at the top. He was one of the most popular players in the NBA all over the world.
I don't know if he was the first dude with cornrows. Allen would keep his tight, because, you know, you got to have your cornrows hooked up.
Iverson crosses over against Brown, gets 2.
That's what I love about him. He brought swagger.
The guy told me, when I get to the league and I play against Mike, I'm going to hit him with the crossover. And I was like, son, you're not crossing up Michael Jordan. Have you lost your mind? Ooh. Ooh.
Allen shakes free, gets 2.
That was like, word.
He didn't shake Michael Jordan once. He shook him twice.
Yeah, Mike in the blender.
And made the shot, both, whole lot.
Jordan got shook, and then he went out and dropped 60 on someone's face.
That's right. MJ would have the last laugh. We'll show you how on the other side. We're back with more NB90s. As the NBA celebrated its 50th anniversary season, the league revealed its 50 greatest players of all time, upping the wattage at All-Star Weekend in 1997.
I tried to get as many as him. I couldn't get there. And then I was fighting this man.
It was a noble effort, though.
Yeah, noble effort.
It was cool to see all those guys from the different eras.
George Gervin, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Wilt Chamberlain.
It was kind of cool to sort of sit there and watch history come alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us salute together.
Actually, I did a video reacting to this NBA Top 50, but I love those get-ups. I love those jackets. Oh, those coats.
The greatest NBA players of all time.
Guess jacket's probably more appropriate.
Meanwhile, Robert Parrish gave new meaning to NBA at 50. All right, he was only 43 when he joined the Bulls.
I'm definitely not going to get any better from an athletic standpoint, so it just boils down to, do I still want to play?
It was sort of an insurance policy just in case, but he brought, a lot of...
Veteran savvy.
The Chief. Probably played a little bit too long. Just a mystery. One of those guys you're like, yo, how's he doing it?
Yeah. This old man, he play knick-knack on my thumb.
I remember watching him when I was in high school and junior high school. And
In terms of longevity in the NBA, hail to the Chief.
Here I come, world. Here I come.
From a timeless wonder to a boy wonder, Kevin Garnett made his grand entrance on the All-Star stage.
It's the youngest man since Magic Johnson to make an All-Star team, Kevin Garnett.
Whoever knows Scary Payton, whether you guys were there or not, he was going to have that moment where he was going to sing. He's going on 20 and 21.
He's 20 and he's going on 21. He's in the NBA. We're going to call him Sir Plastic Man. Slink, slink.
Looking inside, Robinson. Oh, Garnett! Where did he come from?
He's the kind of guy who curses himself out.
Don't be so mean, KG!
It's almost like he don't beat himself up, just to motivate himself to defeat you.
The 97 playoffs were packed with crazy buzzer beaters.
Chapman for the tie!
He whacked it! Johnson at the buzzer!
But none was bigger than a Jazz classic that left the Rockets feeling kind of blue.
Stockton, open three. Good! John Stockton sends the Utah Jazz to the NBA Finals.
John Stockton would never choke under pressure, always make shots, always make plays. Karl Malone, I felt like he fed off of some of that. See, if you really think 1-2 punch, point guard, big man, Stockton and Malone, what jumps to mind right away.
Stockton to Malone.
How many times was that said? Stockton to Malone.
One of the classic nicknames.
Mailman, Karl Malone, he's a bad man. He's a bad man.
Malone took home the hardware as league MVP. But Michael Jordan took the shot that sealed Game 1 of the finals.
Michael hangs, fires, scores!
I've had so many I can't even remember them all.
Then in Game 5, MJ delivered a sick performance.
Michael Jordan, he is suffering from flu-like symptoms.
There is no flu in basketball.
And Michael is dead on his feet. Exhausted.
See, he looks like he's getting ready to fall over on Pippen.
Jordan is absolutely exhausted and worn out.
But then get out of the huddle, it's like, buzzer goes off. He's like, boop. He's like a robot. He's turned back on. He's hitting you at the crossover, fade away. Karl Malone, none of them can stop him.
Classic performance by the flu-ridden Michael Jordan.
One shot for their 5th title, and everyone knew the Bulls were going to Steve Kerr?
He said to Jordan, you pass me that ball, I'm going to be ready.
He comes off, I'll be ready.
I mean, I was wide open for jump shots because of those two guys.
Michael in traffic to Kerr, 15-footer.
Sure enough, boof. Another title.
Mike always had a good shooter with him.
I was able to fill a role because of their talent and fit in on one of the best teams in league history.
That's right, we're history too. That's it for Volume 4. This is Fab Five Freddy saying, see you on the rebound on NB90s.
Gotta love this series. It's good to go back and recap all the things going on around the league in that decade and per episode during that 2-year span. This one definitely had a lengthy amount of time dedicated towards the draft, which rightfully so. You know, we look back on those suits. It's like, man, it's a goofy looking suit. But back then, were people really saying it was goofy looking? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, generally, as far as the jackets and everything, I guess the whole getup being large on that was just a time of the era, man. That was the time of the era. I know people crack on the 90s dress style, but I miss the 80s dress styles. I miss the 90s dress styles, man. I don't know. I'm just a product of that time, the eras from which I was born and from which I grew up in. But I've never been to like an 80s or 90s like house party or anything like that where people dress up. I would like to go to one. Before I get too old, I would like to go to like an 80s themed house party. But then again, I don't remember the last time I ever been to a house party or a 90s themed house party. Hey man, anybody about to throw a themed house party from those 2 decades? Let me know. If I can be out there, I will be out there. Facts. Gary Payton shit talking is quite funny though. Like, he's not the type to always get under your skin like some players do, but I thought that was a good point. It's like he'll make you want to snap back at him, but it starts to become quite hilarious with Gary Payton. Meanwhile, players like Reggie Miller might start to agitate you a bit with the kind of smack talk he does, you know. But Gary Payton, definitely one of the greatest trash talkers ever in the history of the league. I loved watching Gary Payton play. My kind of point guard, really, man. Snub nose, defense oriented, could really pass the ball well. Wasn't much of a hardcore shooter or anything like that, but he'll get you 15 to 23 points in a given night. But really would just pass that ball, man. I love his alley-oops. He just fling them. And loved his defense, man. I love defensive players, though. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about it. Add context if you would like to. What was your favorite moment from this decade? And I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.